Boruto's latest chapter just solidified why Sarada's Mangekyo Sharingan is special, more especially with how she awakened it, as well as her Mangekyo abilities. The new development of this latest Boruto chapter are going to prove why Sarada's awakening was executed brilliantly, and is more in line with the process of awakening the Mangekyo. Once Sarada awakened her Mangekyo Sharingan, she was experiencing all types of negative emotions, but the biggest emotion she was feeling was despair for Boruto. She didn't understand why Boruto always had to be the one caught up in these situations where something bad is happening to him. The thought of losing Boruto made her become too desperate to protect him that her visual prowess was triggered, and thus the Mangekyo was awakened. Not to mention that the first time she fell to her knees having a breakdown was when she heard about Naruto's death. This makes it obvious that the power came as a response to Sarada's feelings towards Boruto and her desire to protect him, and also learning that the person that inspired her to become the Hokage had also been killed. But we are going to concentrate more on her feelings for Boruto and how they tie to her Mangekyo awakening. Even though Sarada hasn't come to terms with how she feels about Boruto, her emotions and her dojutsu are fully aware of how she feels towards him, and that is what is fueling the power of her dojutsu. Some of you might say this doesn't make any sense, but Tobirama Senju's explanation of how the Sharingan works is going to show you why it makes perfect sense. Tobirama Senju said the Uchiha become more powerful when they develop an even deeper hatred or become evil. Even though that is true for most Uchiha, it is different with Sarada, and it ties back to what Tobirama Senju also said before he mentioned hatred making the Uchiha more powerful. Tobirama Senju had said the Uchiha feel deeper love than any other clan. That is why the Uchiha seal away their love or they suppress it. Because once an Uchiha knows love, it is almost as if all of his or her previously checked emotions are released and they awaken a profound love and power that exceeds that of the Senju. For the most part, this exactly describes what happened to Sarada in chapter 80 of Boruto. Sarada's previously checked emotions towards Boruto were triggered and the power of her Mangekyo was awakened. Some of you might try to argue that this was an explanation for the awakening of the regular Sharingan, not the Mangekyo Sharingan. This is where we need to understand that these explanations are not separate from each other. These lines are connected and they explain an entire process that leads to the Mangekyo awakening, not just different things that have no connection. It's an explanation of what happens in the initial stages of Mangekyo Sharingan awakening, all the way to the point where the Mangekyo is manifested. The Uchiha has to experience these things in sequence in order to awaken the Mangekyo. As Tobirama Senju said, the Sharingan are eyes that reflect the heart. When an Uchiha individual writes in agony over the loss of a great love or disappointment within him or herself, a unique chakra gets released inside of his or her brain and reacts with the optic nerves, and changes appear in that person's eyes. This is one of the things that happened to Sarada Uchiha in that moment that led to her awakening. Fast forward to Boruto 2 Blue Vortex chapter 20. Sarada is finally going to use the power of her Mangekyo, and those steps or that process of awakening is also going to be how she taps deeper into that power. From what we saw in the chapter, Mitsuki and Araya were held hostage by Ryu, as they had to fight him without any defense to his iron sand, and even though Mitsuki put up a good fight, they eventually got captured by Ryu. Yoda was also injured and almost at the brink of death. The only shinobi left that could do something was Sarada, but she was held back for some reason. She was afraid to tap into her hidden power and save the other shinobi. Yoda was sensing that something is holding Sarada back, and she knew she had to say something to her. Yoda said to Sarada that she knows that Sarada is keeping her true power hidden away because she wants to use it to protect the person that she loves the most. Yoda also thinks that Sarada doesn't want to use her power, not only because she doesn't want it to be wasted on people that are not Boruto, but more importantly, she's not using the power of her Mangekyo because she doesn't want to come to terms with how she feels about the person she wants to protect. Yodo doesn't understand why Sarada would go that far and even go against her own village to protect him, but she knows how Sarada feels about him. She also knows that Sarada is trying to deny those emotions and she is struggling to accept them, and it is the reason why she can't tap into the power that she has hidden away. She tells Sarada that she needs to accept her feelings for Boruto and understand them in order to use her power. Sarada had a moment where she thought about Boruto and her Mangekyo was triggered. It was a sign that she finally came to terms with her feelings about Boruto and she was now ready to use the power of her Mangekyo. This further emphasizing that the true key to awakening the Mangekyo Sharingan is coming to terms with your own emotions and letting them influence your visual prowess. whether they are emotions of despair and hatred or the desire to protect something. This is also how Sasuke Uchiha was able to awaken his Mangekyo Sharingan. It wasn't by killing Itachi. Sasuke's Mangekyo Sharingan was awakened after he learned the truth about Itachi and came to terms with how he feels about his brother and everything that Itachi did to him. Once Sasuke finally understood all of his emotions and stopped trying to reject them, but instead embraced them, the love that he has for Itachi as well as the hatred that he had for him is what triggered the emotional response that awakened his Mangekyo Sharingan. Something similar can also be said for Obito. Once he came to accept the despair of losing Ren and everything that he cared about, he let himself get consumed by the emotions he felt in that moment and his Mangekyo was awakened. We shouldn't forget that Obito was still hopeful that he could have returned to the village and regained his life back after Madara saved him. But it's still obvious that a part of him still knew that he might never regain his life and he has lost everything. So once he saw his best friend taking the life of his childhood love interest, that's when he accepted reality that he's not going to get his life back. Even if Obito didn't let himself succumb to his hatred in that moment and decided to return to his life in the village with Kakashi, it still wouldn't be the same because Ren is not a part of it. Which is why Obito chose to let himself succumb to his emotions of hatred and lose control, thus leading him down a path of hatred. Once again emphasizing that coming to terms with your reality and the emotions that are influenced by your reality as an Uchiha. A reality that you have lost something that is incredibly dear to you, or that you actually love something far more deeper than you thought, is how the Mangekyo awakening is triggered. The power of the Uchiha's dojutsu is fueled by the desire to either avenge what you have lost in the form of hatred or to protect what is most dear to you in the form of love. This is how hatred can become an incredible source of power for other Uchiha, the same way that love can become an incredible source of power for Sarada Uchiha, as we are about to see in chapter 20 of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex. This is also where the chapter gets even more interesting because Sarada's Mangekyo abilities are similar to Obito's Kamui technique. Sarada opened up a portal that seems to be similar to the space-time ninjutsu Karma portal and sucked away Ryu's iron sand. Even though the technique is similar to Kamui, it is not the same as Obito's power and it seems more akin to a black hole than either Kamui or space-time ninjutsu. She was capable of sucking away Ryu's entire iron sand with only tiny portals. Only black holes would be capable of doing that. So how does this ability tie to her Mangekyo Sharingan? Why did Sarada's dojutsu awaken this power? It might have something to do with Sarada's Mangekyo Sharingan being in the pattern of a sun. If Sarada's Mangekyo Sharingan is linked to the sun, then the life cycle of a sun might explain why she was able to open up small black holes using her Mangekyo. The sun is considered as a star, and when that star implodes in its life cycle, it either becomes a white dwarf or it becomes a black hole. Therefore, the relation to the sun that influences the pattern of Sarada's Mangekyo Sharingan might be the reason why her power is related to the life cycle of a sun. This power also being triggered and strengthened by the love that she has for Boruto and the desire to protect what she cares about, means that for the first time in generations, an Uchiha's visual prowess is becoming stronger because of an emotion that is the opposite of hatred, effectively breaking the cycle of hatred being the main source of strength for the Uchiha. And also going back to the fact that the Uchiha clan that feels deeper love than any other clan, and whatever emotions that come as a result of either losing it or being able to protect it, is what makes their dojutsu even more powerful. This narrative is also going to be more prominent the more we see Sarada's Mangekyo Sharingan, and it is going to deepen the lore associated with the dojutsu, as well as add an interesting change because of the difference in how Sarada channels their powerful visual prowess compared to the previous Uchiha. Sarada's Mangekyo abilities being similar to Obito is also a nice addition because the two of them are Uchiha that shared a dream of wanting to become the Hokage. So let me know what y'all think about Sarada's Mangekyo Sharingan, and what do you think her other Mangekyo abilities are going to be. Subscribe to the channel for more Boruto content, and check out this video that explains why the Sharingan stopped copying jutsu.